What's up, everybody? This is Fishers of Men. Today I'm going to talk more about the Rotten Tomatoes changes that they've made, especially the change to remove that want to see percentage that they had up. So, on the Rotten Tomatoes product blog, they've posted an article and it says, "Hello, we're making some changes." So, I'm going to scroll down a little bit because I'm going to get to the important part. As of February 25th, we will no longer show the want to see percentage score for a movie during its pre-release period. Why, you might ask? Well, I do. We found that the want to see percentage score is oftentimes confused with the audience score percentage number. The audience score percentage, for those who haven't been following, is the percentage of all users who've rated a show positively, that is, given a rating of 3.5 or higher, and is only shown once the movie or TV show is released. And then it shows you kind of what you'll see at the top of the movie after it's released, which is the tomato meter and the audience score. So essentially they're saying that they changed it just to avoid confusion. We don't want people to be confused. People are too stupid to read the fact that it's a want to see percentage. Yeah, okay. Every news article out there about this is talking about how it is to crack down on the trolling. The trolling. We're all trolls for not wanting to see this movie and clicking that "nah, I'm not interested" button. Okay, whatever. So, looking at this, I was thinking, how actually does Rotten Tomatoes audience score and even their critic score, how do those work? Because I've heard different things. I've heard different things about those. So I opened up another page. Oh, here we go. Look at this. About Rotten Tomatoes. What is the tomato meter? Okay, all right. What is certified for? Okay, okay. Here we go. What is the audience score? Let's start with this one. This one is interesting. Okay, so the audience score, denoted by a popcorn bucket, is the percentage of all users who have rated the movie or TV show positively. Wait, so it's just positively? Okay, hang on. If it's just people that rated positively, how do you know whether it's a good score or a bad score if everybody's rated it positively? Let's keep reading. Let's find out. All right. When at least 60% of users give a movie or TV show a rating of 3.5 or higher, a full popcorn bucket is displayed to indicate its fresh status. When less than 60% of users give a movie or TV show a rating of 3.5 or higher, a tipped over popcorn bucket is displayed to indicate its rotten status. So, okay, just bear with me here because I'm probably going to stumble through this because it's just so convoluted and ridiculous. When less than 60% of users give a movie or TV show a rating of 3.5 or higher, the bucket is tipped over. So when 40% of users, right? No. Okay, I'm adding this in after the fact because I just watched the part where I try and talk about this and it doesn't make any sense. So I've gotten to look at it again, and hopefully this will make a little bit more sense. As long as 60% of users give it a 3.5 or higher, it's considered, fresh. It's got the full popcorn bucket. A 3.5 out of 5 is a 70%. So if 95% of users gave it a 70%, it would be rated at a 95%. Not a 70%, a 95%. It's not an average of the 1 through 5 number. It's the percentage of people who give it a 3.5 or higher. So, if, let's say, 58% of people give it a 3.5 or higher, then it gets a 58%. Right? It doesn't take into account really at all those numbers from 3 down, right? It's not, there's no looking at those numbers and seeing, okay, yeah, the average number that everybody gave it was a 2. So it gets a 2 out of 5 as a percentage. No, it's the percentage of people that give it 3.5 or higher. So if 20% of people, as long as 20% of people give it above a 3.5, it gets 20%. If 40% of people give it 3.5 or above, it gets that percentage. The percentage that you see next to that popcorn bucket is based on the people that give it a 3.5 or higher. Tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how that makes sense. Okay, now here you go. Here's the rest of what I recorded originally. And the tomato score is the same thing. When at least 60% of reviews for a movie or TV show are positive, a red tomato is shown indicating its fresh status. When less than 60% of reviews are positive, a green splat is displayed. So it's not even 3.5 or higher. It's just positive, negative. So if one critic goes in and goes, yeah, if 60% of critics go in and go, yeah, I liked it, it was okay. And then 40% go, nah, I didn't really like it. It's fresh. It's fresh. 40% of critics could not like it, and it would still be considered fresh. Okay, so let's say something has like a 90%. That means that 90% of critics gave it a favorable rating. That doesn't mean that every critic gave it 4.5 stars out of 5, right? Because that would be 90%. It means that 90% of critics gave it a favorable rating. Now, favorable rating could be 3 out of 5 stars, right? That's better than half. It's better than half bad. All right, favorable rating, 3 out of 5 stars. That's a huge difference, right? So let's say you're in a class. Let's say you're in a class and you take, it's only tests. All the grades that you get are tests. You get 5 tests in a semester and then you're done. Because a lot of college courses are like that. So let's say on your first test you get an 80. On the second test you get 100. The third test you get, let's say, a 90. The next test you get a 95 and then an 85. Okay, so your average would be a 90. You got a 90%. You're good. You're good. All right, that's a solid A minus. That's a decent mark in that class. You know what the Rotten Tomatoes score would be? 100%. If your professor graded like Rotten Tomatoes, you would get 100%. Because every test you did, every test you took, you got above a 50%. You got a positive rating on every one of those tests. So you got 100%. Good for you. Right? Do you see how silly that is? So, conversely, let's say that you got all 70s. Let's say every test you took, you got a 70, a 70, a 70. Let's say you got a 75 in there just for fun, and another 70. Okay. So your average would be very close to 70. But your Rotten Tomatoes score, you'd get 100. If your professor grades like Rotten Tomatoes, you get 100% in that class. You see how silly that is? See how strange that is? The more I look at Rotten Tomatoes and the more I think about it, the more ridiculous I think it sounds. The more just outrageous the whole principle seems. Why would you not just have a 5-star rating for critics to pick 1 through 5 stars and then average that? Why would you not do that? And obviously, Rotten Tomatoes is a private business. They can do whatever they want. But the fact that their ratings are just so wonky, and their audience ratings are so wonky, and they've removed the want to see percentage, which, by the way, they need to update their about page because it still talks about that percentage. The percentage of these users who've indicated they want to see. Yeah, see, they need to update that. But, whatever. So, Rotten Tomatoes has said what they're going to say. They've changed it, they say, because it's confusing. And I ask you, what's more confusing? The fact that there's a percentage of people that want to see the movie, and it says want to see, and then it has a percentage underneath it. Is that more confusing or less confusing than when at least 60% of reviews for a movie are positive, a red tomato indicates its fresh status? Or when less than 60% of reviews are positive, a green splat indicates its rotten status? It's a little more complicated than want to see percentages. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it's kind of ridiculous? Do you think they're not quite telling the truth here? Because every article on the internet seems to think it's because of Captain Marvel trolling, and some are even saying Episode 9 trolling, which I had no idea was even going on right now. I didn't know people were saying that they didn't want to see Episode 9. I mean, I know that people don't want to see Episode 9. That's not what I'm saying. I was saying that I didn't know people were already going onto the Rotten Tomatoes page and saying, nah, I don't want to see it. Nah, I don't want to see it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think they're not telling the truth. They're fibbing a little bit. Let me know if you think that the want to see percentage was confusing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a genius, and the want to see percentage is actually really confusing for some people, and it's going to be much less confusing when it just shows the number of people that have clicked want to see. I kind of don't think so. And maybe the fresh and rotten and the audience scores, maybe that makes sense to you. If it does, leave a note in the comments telling me what's going on there, because that makes zero sense to me still. Oh well, what are you going to do? I am not excited for Captain Marvel. I don't even know if I'm going to go see it at this point. Look, if you like my video, go ahead and like it. Maybe subscribe if you want to. If you didn't like it that much, try another one of my videos. Maybe you'll like that one more. Again, I am Fishers of Men, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching.